Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Nate, and today we're going to be converting this space behind me into this. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with you. Alright, so we're back for part 3 of our DIY built-in series. For a quick recap here on what happened in part 2, we went ahead and assembled our face frame of the base cabinets and cut each piece to the proper dimension, and then we went ahead and secured those with pocket screws. From there we assembled our top. I used 2 pieces here of solid oak on top of each other. From there we went ahead and sanded up both the top as well as the face frame, and then we added some stain and finish. Once that was all dried, we went ahead and added the top and added the face frame, and that's where we left off. So to start off part 3 here, we went ahead and used the same 4x8 solid oak panel, and we went ahead and cut that to the proper dimensions. Went ahead and used a circular saw at first just to kind of make things a little bit more manageable, and then I took it over to the table saw just so we could have a uniform size. First part you saw there, we were cutting the verticals, and then these smaller pieces here are going to be the horizontal shelves. After that we went ahead and sanded up each piece, added our pre-wood stain conditioner, and then we added our stain. While I had out all my supplies for the stain, I went ahead and took care of our cabinet doors. Now these I just went ahead and pre-bought from my local home store. These doors here are made out of solid oak as well, and I went ahead and followed the same procedure I did for the rest of this unit. You can absolutely make these yourselves if you'd like. However, my personal opinion is these doors can be kind of tricky unless you have the right tools and the right experience. Like the cabinet top and the cabinet frame, we went ahead and added 4 coats of stain. We went ahead and sanded down all the high points and cleaned up all the excess dust, and we added another layer of polyurethane. Went ahead and repeated this step until I had a total of 4 coats of poly. After that, I went ahead and brought everything inside down to my basement, and I'm going to go ahead and mark out the shelving locations here. Now this is going to make more sense once you kind of see everything all assembled. However, I worked on the center third here. Once I've kind of pre-drilled my holes here, then I'm going to go ahead and use the same screws I used for the cabinet carcass. You want to make sure that your screw is sitting below the surface. So our outer shelves are going to be secured at this location here, so we don't want this screw impeding with that. Once I kind of got this middle section set up, I went ahead and just put down an old sheet on top of the cabinet top just so I wouldn't scratch things up. I went ahead and added this up here just so I can make sure that these shelves are level. Since we did a pretty good job of making sure it was level from the get-go, you probably could have assembled this on the ground. However, I was a little bit paranoid that I wouldn't get this quite right, so I thought I would go ahead and just use this process here. Set this on the ground, go ahead and mark where each of these shelves are. This is going to help me to line up things once I get the other shelves assembled. One thing you'll notice here is that the 2 outer sides are not stained yet. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to be securing this to the wall, and also I'm going to be adding some pocket screws here. After the screws are set and I put in my plugs, I'm going to have to go ahead and sand those down. I don't want this to be stained or have any poly on it so I don't ruin the finished look. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the shelves using those lines that I made as a guide. I went ahead and flipped this upside down and added the additional screw there. It was a little bit easier to reach it this way compared to having it on the ground. From there I went ahead and added some wood glue and some pocket hole plugs. You can buy these as well at any home store. Once our plugs here are fully dry, there's a couple different ways that you can go ahead and flush this up. I've got a flush cut saw here. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and use a power sander just to go ahead and get those all leveled up. I didn't show you guys the staining and finish. I think you've seen that enough over this series. However, this is what the finished part looks like. You can still see where the plugs are if you look close enough. However, unless you're really looking, you're not going to see this. So I think it conceals it pretty nice. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and assemble the top piece. Here I'm just going to pre-drill a hole. I'll cover this more in detail here in a little while, but this hole here is where the electrical wire is going to be fed through. Here I'm just making a single path through with my circular saw. What this is going to be doing is it's going to be making space for my LED strip lights. Once that is complete, we're going to go ahead and bring this shelving unit on top of our cabinets. Now this is going to be pretty heavy, so you may need an additional person to help you lift that. Here I'm just going to be sending in a couple screws just to secure this to the top and prevent this from shifting. I'm going to be a little extra careful here so you don't split the wood. And here I'm going to be securing this into a stud on the side of the wall. This is just going to help further secure this unit here so it doesn't shift. Here I just bought a dowel and kind of cut it down. That will go ahead and match the same size of hole here. I'm going to add some glue just to kind of secure it. And we're going to go ahead and cut that off and sand it down to make it completely flush. This right here was the reason on why we did not pre-stain this side as well. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and do the same process you've seen before, where we're going to add the pre-wood conditioner and stain and then the poly. Anytime you're staining indoors, you want to make sure you have proper ventilation. We'll go ahead and crack those windows there. This between the stain and the poly, it can be kind of potent. Alright guys, so that wraps up this part for now. Be sure to check out the description down below. I'll be linking each part as I release them. So no matter when you're watching this, you should be able to find the updated list down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, stick around, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this ride.